If you're watching this, it's not by accident. Out of all the content flooding your feed, somehow you landed here. Why? Because the field doesn't waste energy on coincidence. It aligns. And right now, it aligned you with this moment. That alone is the proof. The universe chose you. Most people scroll endlessly, trapped in distraction, unaware that every choice they make is collapsing a timeline. But something in you paused. Something in you recognized the signal. That is not random. That is resonance. If you are watching this, the very fact that your attention landed here is evidence of something deeper at work. The universe is not random. Quantum physics already showed us. What we call reality is a field of infinite probabilities. At every moment, all possibilities exist, vibrating in superposition, waiting to collapse. And what makes one possibility become real instead of another? Observation, focus, alignment. You believe you chose to watch this. You believe your finger tapped, your eyes focused, your mind decided. But what if the truth is more mysterious? What if you did not choose this moment, but this moment chose you? Neuroscience shows that up to 95% of human decisions are made unconsciously, which means your choice to be here was not entirely yours. Something deeper, call it resonance, intuition, alignment, moved through you. And when that happened, the universe responded instantly, collapsing this exact reality in which you are here now, receiving these words. Think about it. Out of billions of people, out of endless possibilities of what you could be doing, you are here. Why? Because the field does not send signals randomly. It selects. It tunes frequencies together. When the signal you carry matches the signal of a message, the two collapse into the same timeline. That is why you are here. This isn't just a video, it is alignment. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people ignore signals like this. They scroll past. They distract themselves. They collapse back into the loop of repetition. They don't notice when the field is whispering. They don't recognize when a new timeline is being offered. Why? Because their signal is too noisy, too addicted to fear, doubt, or distraction to notice alignment when it arrives. And this is the hidden tragedy. The universe is always choosing. The field is always presenting signals. But only a few recognize them. Only a few pause long enough to feel the difference. Only a few allow the fire of alignment to burn away the illusion of chance. Have you felt this before? That strange sense that something found you at the exact moment you needed it? The book you opened by accident. The person you met by coincidence. The words you heard when you were ready to break. Those were not accidents. They were alignments. The field does not operate on luck. It operates on coherence. And here is where science and spirit meet. Physics calls it the observer effect. Mystics call it divine timing. Shamans call it synchronicity. All are describing the same truth. The universe is precise. The signal arrives only when you are ready to collapse it, not before, not after. Exactly now. So if you are here, it is because you are ready. Ready to see the script of repetition for what it is. Ready to recognize the field is speaking directly to you. Ready to step out of the illusion that life is random and step into the truth that life is resonance. But here comes the question that many cannot face. If the field is this exact, if the universe is always sending signals, why do so many ignore them? Why do people collapse the same old story even after the universe has already chosen them for something new? If the field is always precise, if the universe is always aligning signals, why do so many people collapse back into the same old timelines? Why do they ignore the call even when it stands right in front of them? The answer is simple, but brutal. Most people mistake recognition for transformation. They notice the signal, they feel the pull, but they don't act. They treat alignment as inspiration instead of initiation. Think about it. How many times have you felt something stirring in you, a clear sign, a perfect chance, a moment where everything inside said, "This is it," and yet you hesitated? You waited for proof. You waited to feel ready. You told yourself, maybe later, and later never came. The signal passed. The moment collapsed. This is the error, confusing the feeling of being chosen with the act of choosing back. The universe can align the probabilities. The field can open the door, but it cannot walk you through. That choice is yours. And most people don't make it. They collapse hesitation instead. They broadcast fear, doubt, or distraction. And the field mirrors it perfectly, not because it wants to punish them, but because it always responds to the strongest signal being sent. Quantum mechanics calls this coherence. Spirit calls it devotion. Without it, observation scatters. The signal gets lost. The wave collapses into the same old reality. This is why so many live the same cycles again and again. They hear the call, they feel the alignment, they even recognize the moment, but they don't sustain it. They don't embody it. They let the noise of fear drown out the clarity of the signal. And so the universe keeps choosing, and they keep ignoring. It's not that the universe is silent, it's that they don't answer. But here is the good news. You are different. You stayed. You didn't scroll past. You didn't dismiss this as coincidence. You recognize something in it, and that recognition means you are already ahead of most. You are already aligned enough to hear the signal clearly. The only question left is, will you answer? And answering requires more than seeing. It requires burning the old hesitation, reprogramming the emotional addiction to doubt, and collapsing coherence in the present moment. That is the method. You've seen it now. Recognition is not transformation. The universe may choose you, the field may align the signal, but until you choose back, the script of the past will collapse again and again. The question is not whether you are chosen. The question is whether you will respond. So how do you answer the call? How do you prove to the field that this time is not just recognition, but transformation? The answer is not mystical. It is method. It is coherence. It is building your frequency so strong that the universe cannot mirror anything else back to you, but the story that is truly yours. Step 1. Disrupt the old broadcast. Every day you wake up inside the same identity, the same habits, the same patterns, the same emotions. Without noticing, you repeat yesterday, and the field has no choice but to collapse it into today. This is the loop, and the loop is their story, not yours. To choose back, you must break it. You must disrupt the broadcast of the old self so that the field can finally mirror something new. Science calls this neuroplasticity. When you interrupt a habit, your brain fires new connections, forming new pathways. Spirit calls it initiation, the deliberate act of stepping outside the role you were given. Both mean the same thing. Disruption is the first signal of freedom. Start simple. Change the order of your morning. Breathe differently before you speak. Write words you have never dared to declare. Even the smallest disruption tells the field, I am no longer collapsing their story, I am choosing mine. Step 2. Reprogram the emotional code, but patterns are not only mental, they live in your body. Your nervous system is addicted to the chemistry of the old story. Fear, shame, scarcity, these emotions flood your system until they feel normal. And so, even when your mind says, I am free, your body still broadcasts, I am trapped. To choose back, you must break the addiction. You must reprogram the emotional code that fuels the old self. Neuroscience shows us that emotions release chemicals that change your electromagnetic field. Gratitude and coherence create ordered, expansive waves. Fear and stress create chaotic, collapsing ones. The HeartMath Institute has measured this. Your heart's frequency changes instantly when you shift emotion, and the quantum field listens. It mirrors those signals with absolute precision. So here is the work. Breathe into fear until it dissolves. Face shame until it loosens. Teach your body a new baseline. Use breathwork, meditation, stillness, prayer, not as comfort, but as Rewiring. Each moment of coherence tells the field, this is my frequency now. Collapse this. Ask yourself, which emotions keep pulling you back into their story? Which feelings are so familiar that they feel like you, when in truth they were programmed into you? Until you face those, the field will keep collapsing timelines you never chose. Step 3. Embody the new identity. Even after disruption and emotional reprogramming, the story waits. The script survives through identity. You wake up as the same version of you, unconsciously putting on the mask others handed you, and the field responds to that mask, not to your secret desires. To choose back, you must embody the new identity. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, quantum mechanics is clear. The field responds to the observer's state in the present moment. If you wait for proof before you shift, you're broadcasting waiting, and the field mirrors, waiting endlessly. But when you embody the new identity now, the field has no choice but to collapse it. This is why mystics spoke of living as if. They did not wait for permission. They embodied freedom before freedom was visible. They embodied abundance before abundance arrived. They embodied devotion before proof appeared, and reality bent to match them. Identity is not found. It is chosen. And once chosen, it must be lived until the field stabilizes around it. Step 4. Anchor with ritual, but identity too can fade. The subconscious is the true transmitter, and it doesn't shift with ideas. It shifts with symbols, repetition, ritual. That is why every tradition has fire, chants, mantras, ceremonies. Ritual speaks to the subconscious in its native language. It bypasses the logical mind and encodes reality at its deepest level. So create your ritual. Write down the lines of the old story and burn them. Declare your chosen identity aloud every morning. Anchor it with symbols, gestures, or sacred words that remind you, I am not their story, I am mine. Each ritual is a command, not to the surface mind, but to the subconscious and to the field. It seals the shift. It tells reality, this is permanent. Collapse this again and again until nothing else exists. Step 5. Sustain the collapse. Collapse is not a single event. It is continuous. Every second the wave collapses into form, which means the story is not burned once. It is burned again and again until the old script has no power left. Neurons that fire together wire together. The more often you embody the new frequency, the stronger it becomes. The more you return to coherence, the louder your signal grows. The more you repeat the ritual, the deeper the subconscious accepts it. This is why most people fail. They expect one moment of inspiration to rewrite everything. But reality doesn't collapse once. It collapses continuously. And if you don't sustain the new frequency, the old one will rebuild itself. The truth of choosing back, so this is the method. Disrupt the old broadcast, reprogram the emotional code, embody the new identity, anchor it with ritual, sustain it until the field has no choice but to mirror only your truth. Science calls it neuroplasticity and coherence. Spirit calls it initiation and rebirth. Both are describing the same thing, choosing back, because the universe has already chosen you. The field has already aligned this signal with your awareness. The only question is, will you choose it back, or will you let hesitation collapse their story again? If the universe has already chosen you, then every moment you hesitate is not neutral. Silence is not absence. Waiting is not empty. Every time you delay, the field collapses the delay itself into form. Every not yet becomes a timeline of repetition. Most people think they can postpone destiny. They imagine that tomorrow will still hold the door open, that the chance will be waiting when they finally feel ready. But the field doesn't freeze. Collapse happens in real time. Every second, one probability dies and another is born. And if you don't choose, you are still choosing, You are choosing the past again. Think back to your own life. How many times did you feel alignment only to let it fade because you waited too long? How many moments slipped through your hands not because they weren't real, but because you didn't act while the fire was still alive? How many versions of you, stronger, freer, more alive, have already died because hesitation buried them? This is the hidden cost of silence. Futures erased before they ever became form. Realities collapsing into nothing because the observer looked away. Quantum mechanics has a brutal truth. The wave only collapses where attention remains. Spirit said it differently. Energy flows where intention goes. Both mean the same. The second you stop choosing, the probability dissolves. And yet, the universe doesn't stop choosing you. The signal keeps coming. The alignment keeps presenting itself. The question is whether you will keep ignoring it, collapsing later into reality again and again. This is why lives are lived half asleep. People hear the call, feel the resonance, even see the signs, people notice, but they collapse hesitation instead. They call it patience. They call it caution. But beneath those words is fear. And fear is the loudest broadcast of all. So ask yourself now, what are you collapsing in this very moment? Are you broadcasting clarity or are you broadcasting delay? Are you collapsing a future that belongs to you, or are you still collapsing the story that was handed to you long ago? Every second is fire. Every second is choice. And the longer you wait, the more certain it becomes that the field will mirror, not the life you desire, but the signal you keep sending unconsciously. The truth is sharp but liberating. You are not waiting for the universe. The universe is waiting for you. It has already chosen. It has already aligned. The only missing piece is your coherence, your decision, your willingness to collapse the story into form. So don't wait. Don't silence the call again, because the collapse is already happening. And if you do not direct it, it will collapse the old self by default. Right now, in this exact moment, reality is not waiting. It is collapsing. Futures are being erased, others are being born, and you are the axis through which this collapse happens. The proof is simple. You are here. You didn't stumble onto this by chance. Out of billions of possibilities, you aligned with this signal. That is evidence. The field has already chosen you. Quantum mechanics explains it with precision. Possibilities remain waves until the observer looks, and the act of observation collapses one into form. That is not metaphor. That is the structure of reality, and spiritually it has always been the same. Shamans spoke of initiation fire, mystics of divine timing, prophets of the chosen moment. They were describing the exact same truth. When awareness sharpens, the field shifts instantly. Notice your own body. Your breathing is not the same as when you began. Your mind is quieter, sharper, more focused. You can feel the difference in your chest, your skin, your thoughts. These sensations are not imagination. They are recalibration. Your nervous system is adjusting to a new frequency. The old broadcast is weakening. The new one is stabilizing. And this is the sign that the collapse is already happening. If nothing were shifting, you would not even be here. You would have clicked away. You would have returned to noise, distraction, repetition. But you stayed. You chose to keep observing. And observation is collapse. The old story is trembling. The mask you inherited is cracking. That is why resistance feels stronger than ever. Your mind might whisper, "This isn't real. This is just another video." But that resistance is proof. The false self always fights hardest when its time is running out. Can you feel it? That mixture of unease and recognition in your chest. That pull to keep listening, even if you can't explain why. That is the collapse in motion. It is the vibration of the old dissolving while the new is trying to emerge. You are not waiting for the universe to choose you. It already has. The only question is whether you will let the collapse finish. This is the point of no return. Once the illusion is seen, it cannot be unseen. Once the fire begins, it cannot be undone. You can resist, you can delay, but you cannot go back. The universe has already pulled you into this moment, and that means you are already becoming someone else. Look deeper. The silence beneath your thoughts is louder than before. The sense that something is shifting inside you is undeniable. That is the new signal stabilizing. That is the reality waiting to anchor itself through you. And the collapse is the bridge between the two. So, let it burn. Let the old script die. Let hesitation dissolve. Because right now, the only thing stopping you from living the story that is yours is the illusion that nothing is happening. But it is happening. And you can feel it. You've felt it. The silence under your thoughts. The fire moving through your chest. The unease that proves the old story is breaking. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. The universe has already chosen you. The only question left is, will you choose it back? Because here is the danger. If you walk away now, without sealing this moment, the old script will begin to rebuild. That is what it always does. The past waits like a shadow, ready to reclaim you the second you go silent. And if you let that happen, hesitation becomes collapse again. Delay becomes collapse again, and you wake tomorrow inside the same story you swore you were done with. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can seal this moment right now. You can anchor it so deeply that the field cannot ignore it. How? Through declaration, through alignment, through action. First, declare it. In the comments, write one word: chosen. Not for me, not for the algorithm, for the field, for yourself. That single word becomes a frequency, a broadcast that says, the universe chose me, and I am choosing back. This is not performance. This is ritual, a seal that prevents the old script from taking hold again. Second, subscribe. And do not see it as just a click. See it as alignment, as staying in resonance with the current that already pulled you here. Every video on this channel is another transmission, another spark of coherence, another reminder that you are not random, that you are chosen. If you walk away, the noise of the world will try to drown this truth. But if you stay aligned, the signal grows louder, stronger, unavoidable. Think about it. How many times in your life have you felt a call only to let it fade because you didn't act? How many times did you ignore the whisper and collapse back into repetition? This moment is different. This time, act. Seal it now while the fire is still alive in you. And remember, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. Being chosen is the first step. Choosing back is the second. The next stage is building the reality that is truly yours. Learning to hold this frequency until it becomes permanent. That is what comes next. And the next video is already waiting to guide you deeper into that journey. So pause for a moment. Feel the weight of this alignment. Feel how rare it is to recognize that the universe is speaking directly to you. And then decide. Will you let this moment fade like all the others? Or will you seal it, declare it, and align with it so fully that nothing can take it from you? The universe has chosen. The field has spoken. The only missing piece is your answer. Write your word. Subscribe to the signal. Step into the story that is truly yours.